Hey, you right there guys? Harry back with you again from Salute the Magpie. Today we'll be looking at Northlane's new album Mesmer, in which a ballsy move they just dropped out of nowhere. I mean, like with a click of the refresh button on your browser and boom, we have a new full Northlane album to sink your teeth into. And it does not disappoint, so let's start chatting about it. So then guys, if you didn't know, Northlane are an Australian metalcore band from Sydney. Australia always kind of putting out some good metalcore bands. This is their fourth studio album, the second one with their new frontman Marcus. The other two previous ones were done with Adrian until he sadly departed. Bands that are on the same kind of spectrum musically, I'd say, are Architects, Volumes, Error. So if you like those bands or haven't heard of those bands, check them out alongside Northlane. The album opens with the lead single that Northlane are pushing from this, titled Citizen. Straight away, this song shows the talents of each musician really quite well. I wouldn't say that it is as technical as probably some of the previous Northlane works, but just there's something about the quality of the songwriting here that it just has that premium factor to it. The direction that you can tell this band is going in works really well. They know what their palette of sounds are, they know what parts they're working with, and really it just feels like they know what they're doing now and they can get themselves forward. This feel kind of flows through for the next couple of opening tracks. Northlane just throw down what they've got to offer to you really. It's groovy, it's heavy, there's nice intricacies in the album, and each song has its kind of own progression and own kind of unique feel to it. As the album moves forward, you've got songs such as Solar and Heart Machine, which are really toned down on the aggression. And this is where Marcus can really show his clean vocals through. I don't think he really breaks into his shouting voice, not even for like one line of these two songs. And that just shows you like what they can now work with Marcus's vocals. They're just really good, they're really clean, really angelic, and he is a great addition to this band and a great step up and making the most of like what the talents of these musicians have. Other highlights for me on this album is the track 01, which comes in the second half of this album. It's a progressive monster. I mean, it just builds from the start, gets heavier and heavier. The instrumentation gets a bit more complex as the song goes along, until it kind of cuts back for just one line. Marcus just does some demonic grunts kind of thing, and then it goes into the heaviest of fast-paced breakdowns, if you can even call it that. It really does have a large impact on this song, and it's just nuts really. We've also got the track Render, which is kind of a ballsy technical track with some nice contrasting light sections. Once again, just showing this like palette of sounds that Northlane are using on this album. And then we've got the album closer track Paragon, which on first time listens round, you just think is a great choice of track to end on. It has an extended ambient intro, and then it just gets into a really trunky like main verse chorus. It just ends the album on a massive like explosion, a bang. It's probably one of the heavier tracks on the whole album, to be honest, and to end on that, it just really rounds things off quite well. But also behind this last song there is a deeper meaning and fitting tribute to the late guitarist from Architects and the main songwriter Tom Searle. It's no secret that the two bands were close, and they've openly admitted that they have both influenced each other along their path, and even Northlane are named after an Architect song, so there's no doubt that the members of Northlane have been deeply affected by this loss. When you look into it, every lyric or line from this song is taken from an Architect lyric or something that Tom Searle has said or his values. It's quite tugging at the heartstrings really, and it's a really fitting tribute to Tom. If you're a fan of Architects or know what's been going on, then this kind of tribute track adds that extra layer of interest and that little personal touch, which is just a great way to round off the album. Compared to the other works done by Northlane, I just feel like this album is another step up. As Singularity was a step up from Discoveries with Adrian as the frontman, I feel like Mesmer is just a step up from Node with Marcus taking the reins. This was clear to me, I'd say about 3 tracks in, and I just felt like, hell yes, they have got their sound down. I really see it as an amazing piece of work. Even though Node and Mesmer are distinctively less heavy than I'd say Singularity or Discoveries, which is fair enough with a new frontman, I feel like it kind of has taken influence from their old albums and put their new kind of style on top of that, and they've made a really, really good balance. The thing with Mesmer is, when it does go into the heavier sections or into the breakdowns, it really does hit hard in those sections where it's meant to be. And then it can also contrast with the lighter, more pensive sections, and it just kind of really blends all together and creates a really good flow on the entire album, really. With the growing pains that they're probably going through with it on Node, they've looked at their strengths from that, the strengths from the old albums, and just capitalised on it all. And this is like kind of a accumulation of all the works into one. For me, with this album launch, Northlane have really secured themselves as like a great modern metal band, kind of pioneering this style of music along with other bands like Architects, really. I kind of clump them together as a driving force in metal music right now. If people had any doubts about the direction Northlane were going in, or about Marcus joining the band, then I'd say that's pretty much cleared up now. If you have been thinking like that, I definitely recommend giving Mesmer a shot. It is truly an incredible album, and Northlane is definitely worth your time and a listen right now. If you want to catch Northlane live, they have a world tour running from May to July. They've got festival dates in Europe, and they are on the main stage at Download Festival this year. So that's been some of my thoughts on Northlane's Mesmer. If you've already listened to the album, then tell us some of your favourite tracks or just what you think about it as a whole. And if you've liked what I've had to say, check us out on all our social media platforms, and especially Facebook, because at the moment we are running a competition where we're giving out 2 tickets to Slam Dunk Festival Midlands. You just have to find the pin post on our page. There's 3 simple steps, and then you could be in with a chance to have them as yours. I've been Harry from Salute the Magpie, and I'll see you in the next one.